City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
Alrighty, welcome back to Clash of Clubs. This is episode 16. I'm Dylan along with Grant and Mila, as always. And today we're going to cover match week 13 and the games that came on in that window, which were Chelsea versus Villa, the big one of the window, City versus Liverpool, with Liverpool extending to an 11-point lead over City. And then we'll finish with United-Everton to segue into the big midweek matchup, which is United and Arsenal. But let's start with the best game so far this season, probably for Chelsea. Chelsea-Villa. Chelsea 3, Villa 0. Grant, take us away.
It was our best, man. It was good though. It was a solid performance, 1 through 90. I think pressing wise for sure was our best game of the season. Like you saw Emmy and all those mistakes he was making. He's not the best with his feet, but that's not like the amount of mistakes they were making out in the back, trying to play out the back. And I don't know. I thought that was just overall super sound. I loved, again, just the flexibility, throwing Caicedo at right back, Lavia in there, Enzo pushing up. And ever since that divorce, man, I'm seeing a different player. It's special, really special right now for him. He's been fantastic. Cucurella, another top performance. Fofana got hurt, so I think that's the only kind of downside from that game. We don't know how long he's out yet. I think it was his hamstring. But all in all, Sancho looked good. Palmer, goal, assist. Jackson, goal. I mean, sound. Like, I was confident with top 4 going into the season, but, like, now it's, to me, like, I think we're in prime position. And, again, the table's still really tight. It's super early. But just based off what I'm seeing, like, need to just keep this run of form going. We've got a nice little run of games. Southampton tomorrow, then Tottenham away the weekend. I think this is really the time to get out ahead. I don't think we're in a title race, like the manager said, but this is a team and a group that just needs to take it game by game. Okay, we have Southampton tomorrow. Let's do what we have to do to beat them. Because they've given big teams trouble. I mean, they have like 5 points, but they've given teams runs for their money. But they make a ton of mistakes playing out the back, so I think the chances will present themselves in that game. But yeah, sound. I can't believe Villa are in 12th now. That kind of just happened really quickly. I know they've been in a bit of a rut, but
they're in worse form than City are at the moment.
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised.
That's 8
with less of a cushion, obviously.
This and would we attribute that to just Champions League? I know we've talked about. They've been really good in the Champions League.
I think it's bigger picture than that.
They've conceded 1 goal in the Champions League. Like that's in 5 games. That's impressive. They played some tough teams, but. Yeah, like I think they're just kind of running out of legs in the middle. I know Tielemans not known for his work.
We were all surprised when Tielemans was playing so well. Also,
yeah, he's probably just running out of gas. Like,
do we think he can do that for a full season? Like I don't know. They're probably lacking just a central midfielder.
Kamara didn't look great, but I think he was really good last season. I would definitely give him time. I'd like to see him and Onana in the middle. I don't think we've seen that.
Onana's not fit right now.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting one. McGinn, I know you guys have your
two-man midfield too. It's just I don't know. I don't know how long
McGinn just isn't like
Rodgers isn't
a
really
goal threat there for me. Philogene looks off it. Maybe it was too soon to jump back straight.
I think they need to play him as a winger. I don't think there's any point in playing him at the right mid. I don't know the point of buying him to play at the right mid, but.
That's just the system.
I would consider our wingers.
What output are you going to get from Philogene and
I mean, our guys track
left and right mid?
I don't know. I'd consider our guys left and right mids too. I mean, the way they track.
But they're more advanced. Villa's system is based on not conceding goals and then being super quick on the transition and then bursting through, right? Watkins goals, Duran goals. And right now they're at a severe lack of goals. They kind of look like an earlier season United where like, if there's no goals coming, they're going to lose games.
Watkins, he missed a big chance too. Sanchez,
he did.
Just played really well. I saw he has the highest save rate in the league, which I
doesn't surprise me.
He's had some huge games.
I know. Yeah, it's just
he might have had like 2 to 3 mistakes, but if you look at the bigger picture, he's actually been pretty good for you guys.
Yeah, if it's not the bozo gene, like I think one of the worst I've ever seen. Is he in GOAT conversations? If he doesn't have that bozo gene,
what the fuck are you talking about?
No,
you might have the bozo gene.
Yeah, that might be the worst take you've ever said on this podcast. That's really bad, especially after all this shit we've heard you say about him. That might be up there for the worst thing.
Because he has one of the worst I think I've ever seen. It comes out at least once a game. But if he didn't have that, which is again the craziest if.
I don't know. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, you know?
Yeah, no, same deal.
Like
I want to see matter of fact, I want to see Jorgensen start tomorrow. I want to see him start tomorrow. But
I am much higher on him than I am Sanchez because the bozo
Sanchez
gene
was your second highest rated.
It's never
player.
going away because I think like internally they think that's gonna like go away over time, and he has the raw like skills attributes to be a top goalkeeper. He's 27. Right? What are we talking about?
He's a goalkeeper. They
but
develop a little later.
I've seen a lot from Robert Sanchez. He had a great game.
I'm not defending him, but he's not that old for a goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Villa, I'm a little worried about them. Bailey, I don't know why they dropped him. I thought he hasn't been great this season, but
no, he's been. That's another guy that was like he wasn't really.
He was good last year.
I don't think he's been that good for them.
No, I don't think so either.
I liked him a lot.
He gained a little bit of form, but form is temporary. Yes, so they could have done better.
Yeah, when your options wide, Ramsey's hurt.
I think we bought into it, especially me. They bought into that these guys would maintain that form, and a lot of them just all dropped off at the same time. That's where they're at right now, in my opinion.
I mean, I'll take the 3 points, but yeah, it's crazy to just see like they were like third maybe a month ago even. Dropping off a cliff, man.
To be fair to Chelsea, I mean, week after week, it continues to improve upon performances. We have been super harsh on Enzo, and the ability to get him on the field with Palmer and Lavia and Caicedo, like, it's working, man.
Yeah, Caicedo.
He's so.
Say it again, like he's unbelievable. He's
I mean, barring Palmer, he's the team MVP because he just makes everyone else.
Oh, he is the
work.
team MVP. He is the team MVP because again, with attacking players, like Palmer's not going to output every game.
He's also not tracking back, right? Like Enzo in this system
does well
isn't
in the press. Palmer does well in the press, but Enzo, something I've seen different as of late is his willingness to run. Like he'll play a ball and he'll book it out wide to overlap and create. Like he is more than willing to put in that work right now. And I think maybe to go back on points we've talked about earlier, that might be a leadership thing. He's got the armband. You got to show it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think tactically though, like Maresca is putting him in positions for him to be better, right? Like before we've talked about this kind of like where do you play him? Like he's not a 6, he's not an 8. Where do you really put him? This feels more of like. He's just way more advanced, and it just fits a lot better to his profile, and not having him do as much defensively. I'm not saying that all of his defensive work is taken away, but a good amount of it is taken away, and so you're making him just do like these bare bones defensive work, which suits him so much better.
Yeah,
and
so responsibility on the defensive structure. He could just go in and kind of make tackles and just break up without the obligation to stay in that pivot, if you will. But yeah,
and if he messes it up, it's not on, like there's through 2 or 3 guys behind him at all times. It's not like him's make or break on him making or missing a tackle, which isn't his strong suit.
Especially on that left-hand side with Cucurella and the form he's been in ever since the summer and even the back end of last season. He's been unbelievable, just locking people up and very aggressive in his challenges, but they're coming off more and more. And then Colwell's been really good this year too. I think he's been very crucial in how we play too, in terms of just building throughout the back, breaks lines all the time. We're starting to really see him grow. But yeah, it's really exciting stuff. And then when you just think of kind of the headache it must be to set up that front four every week, like I'm always thinking like, Sancho's look good, Mudryk looks good in other competitions. Neto, I think he's looked really good. Madueke, we've seen it from him. Like Felix looks good when he's playing. Man, just got to keep it up, and like you guys have kind of alluded to, you gotta hopefully it just stays this way in terms of, I guess, the vibes, because results will always bring that. Once we hit adversity, which it naturally is going to happen at some point, how does the squad react? How are dynamics? Who's going to be upset they're not playing? How is that all going to play out? So I guess long term that can be a bit of a concern. But
yeah, the only guy I'm not sold on is Sancho, just in the role, because he's so toothless. He's just so toothless.
Do you watch the game with him playing in there? So it's a different profile to what we have in terms of like a let's say a Madueke who's going to take the ball. You know exactly what he wants to do, right? He wants to run at his fullback. He wants to take him on. Sancho, I think, is at his best when you have good players around him. And again, maybe I wouldn't even say that as a knock on him, but when he's able to link up with intelligent players who know what spaces to occupy, I think Enzo, as of late, I think a guy like Jackson, who's a really good striker to be able to play off of, when you could just play quick 1-2s and link up play, that's really where he's most comfortable. Toothless is harsh, but yeah, he's not, very trigger happy in front of goal. I have seen that at times with him, but I'm more than happy with him. We paid 20 million for him, and he looks like a lot. I'd probably pay 40 for him. You know what I mean? I think it was good value. And
I don't think you'd pay 40 for him. Like, because here's the thing: if he wasn't, no. What I'm saying is, like, I don't think that he's that quality of player to be letting him off the hook for just. I just don't see his impact as much as I do, like, with the other guys. Like, I would have loved to see Mudryk start this game, and I think that he's deserved that right.
He's
which
been
just kind of
very
sucks.
good lately, and I've always at least said with him, I've always thought it was a confidence thing or something upstairs, because you see it in very small spurts in the past where it's just like, oh, like that's why we paid so much money for this guy. And the more he's getting 90 minutes. Obviously, it's Conference League or it's in the Cup, but he's looked really strong, and now he's starting to get goals and assists in these competitions. Like you said, I'd love to see him get a run in the Prem, hopefully tomorrow. But
I guess my question is, did Sancho earn another 90 minutes for you, like, for the next game?
I don't think he's going to play next game. He played like 64 or something like that is when he came off. He was all right. He's probably not going to play 90. I think he comes off the bench.
No, I'm sorry. Like, did he earn another start with with these types of performances? If we were to, push him out 5 games, say he has this performance 5 games in a row, does he deserve to be starting in this Chelsea 11, or does someone else deserve that spot?
Given the quality of our team, I would assume a guy like Neto comes in, and if it's like a solid, let's say 7 for me, Neto comes on, gives you 30 quality minutes. And I think there's enough quality in our team and flexibility tactically for him not to start a run of 5 games, especially kind of with the way we rotate. Because I think next year, if we're in the Champions League, you can't rotate the way we've been rotating. You just can't swap out teams when you're in the Champions League. But I think it's just so much different this year with the context. I think we're going to be heavily rotating all year.
Yeah, so, no. That's what I'm saying. I'm just
probably not.
more. Yeah, I'm just curious, like, because
in the context of how our team operates, no. Having said that, I mean, he assists in probably at least half his games that he plays. Like, I like what he's been doing for us. I don't love the agendas I see on the internet against Sancho.
I just think he's average.
I think it's a reach. I think we need to see more from him to really get something definitive. I don't think there's been much to really go, oh, he's been unbelievable, or
he's feel like that's just kind of been my thoughts on him throughout his entire career in the Prem. Unless he's playing for Dortmund, it's just been average. Look, he's a talented footballer. I just don't know. I haven't seen it yet for me to be like, he should be starting week in, week out for Chelsea. I just don't think that he fits in the best 11.
Save this conversation for end of the year.
Yeah, we'll see where he's at. I do want to phrase one more thing, and I actually want to direct it towards Mila, because Mila was the highest on Villa. Did we over-evaluate their depth and just the quality of players on their squad?
It's a good question.
So I said that we did a little earlier in the pod.
I
think we did. I think not the depth. We always were. You were skeptical, at least, of the depth. I didn't think it was that bad because I thought the starters would make up for it. But I think we overestimated how well and how long that run of form would continue for those guys. Watkins, Bailey, obviously Onana came in, but like Tielemans, Watkins, Bailey, Tielemans were all in pretty good form.
Really good.
for a little bit, and that's
Yeah.
what got them going. But when they all drop off a cliff, like we saw in the beginning, when Watkins wasn't really going, Rodgers was playing really well, but Rodgers didn't get anything out of it because Watkins couldn't fucking
And
Couldn't
Durant was
finish.
coming in and just
couldn't hit anything.
banging
Durant
goals off the
was doing
bench.
his thing.
Yeah, pretty much ever since Durant stopped being on peak form, they've had nothing.
Yeah,
I-
I mean, I'm
I don't
thinking like a guy like Matson. I really did see him starting to get some game time at some point. Our biggest thing, I guess, internally at Chelsea's board, like the reason they're willing to get rid of him is the physicality, which I think is obviously something worth bringing up. But
He didn't play.
Well,
yeah, he just
why-
doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, these guys aren't even getting into the team, so that's telling me like with all these games, like Matson can't get a game off Digne. Like I don't know.
Even
I
if
think
not even
Ross Barkley's
Digne,
looked good when he's played. I think
Can't
Ross
you
Barkley
put
looks good when
Matson
he's
where
played.
McGinn is? What is McGinn done on a week-to-week basis to
You can't
deserve
take
that
out
spot?
McGinn. We've talked about this. They
I saw
won't
them
take out
play
McGinn.
Koch as a
Look, they're
Koch
playing
played
at them like
Maxon as a
wherever
10.
at this point.
He's proper crap. I just don't see it. I really don't. Like, I know I had the whole rant last time. I just don't see it. I don't
think
understand
he's an
it.
attacker. That's what I've always been confused about. I think he adds something to your team, but you're putting him in a position where it's like, okay, so if you're not going to get output out of him, it's one of the other three attacking positions. You have Watkins, Rodgers, and then whoever they put on the right. And then Bailey hasn't been great in terms of goal scoring this year. So now Rodgers gets a few here and there. That's not really what he's primarily out there to do. It's all on Ollie Watkins to score goals. It worked last year because he was on form. But yeah, McGinn there, I just never
It's time for
understood
the
why he's an attacker.
4-3-3.
Yeah, it's too rigid.
Time to go
That's
back.
a much bigger point. Like Emery's been
You
way too
could
rigid
play
with this.
Onana, McGinn,
Tillemans, right?
Tielemans for a little
'Cause
more
McGinn and
structure. You put
Onana have enough
Rodgers as
legs.
a little more attacking. I think something could work in there, and McGinn, you get some use out of him.
Yeah,
What they're
but
doing right now, the whole bullshit with the fucking left and right mid, like they're not using their wide players' skill sets properly in the system.
yeah, that's fair.
The system's not the issue. The players aren't the issue necessarily either, though. Like they just need to find a good medium where it meshes exactly.
Yeah, there needs to be more of a blend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because right now they're contrasting each other, and it's showing. They haven't won in what, 8?
yeah. Something's got to change, right? You'd think that there already would have been a change with Emery being this like so-called wizard manager, right? Like,
Well, we've
So
seen, yeah.
called, you said.
but I don't rate him. I haven't rated him for a long time because I just don't think. I think he gets to this point. This happens at everywhere he goes. He gets to a point where we're like, oh, he's gonna crack on, and then all of his teams fall apart, and then they sack him.
Yeah.
If they go on a run of 6 more games of straight L's, like what are we
He's
gonna be
not-
They
saying?
might have to sack him,
Look,
but like,
Lopetegui's getting sacked, by the way.
what?
God,
It's
fuck,
one of those
awful.
things again. Like, where do you look at this team, and like, what do you think? Other than what we just said, I really don't see how he can make much of a difference with this team. I
Yeah, they
don't think
also have
Bailey
not a
can't
injury
play at that
crisis.
left-right mid. That's not his game. Same with Philogene. So those guys need to be in a higher up position on the
He
pitch.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
So the only thing he can do is play them higher up. So if he's not going to change his ways,
It
they're
might
not
be
going to get rid
time.
of all the players. So they're probably going to sack him if he's going to be that stubborn. But if he doesn't want to be sacked, then he can use these players. He's not getting the best out of them.
Let's
I
just
think.
note that Gerrard had this group in the relegation.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But he's a
I don't-
floor raiser. I don't think he's a
For
ceiling
sure.
raiser.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
move on to. I guess it would be. It was considered the biggest game of the weekend, but I think we all kind of saw how that was going to go.
No.
Liverpool 2, City 0.
You didn't get your
at
phone
Anfield.
embrace, Dylan.
I didn't get. Yeah, because he fucking sucks and reeks of piss.
Yeah, bro, he did not do anything again.
I sing his praises if he did well, but it's not his
I
fault.
will explain. No, it's
De
not his
Bruyne looked
fault.
better than him in 10 minutes. I'm done.
Yeah, when
There
we had
needs to be
all of our
accountability.
attackers on the pitch.
There needs to be
You have
accountability.
agendas. It's
There
alright.
needs- No.
Bro,
I
when
said
you
he
have
was
no
really good.
attackers, we had no attackers on the pitch.
There
Don't
needs
do
to be
this.
accountability.
Don't do
PFA
this.
Okay, we'll
Your
take away
bozo
the De
genes
Bruyne
kicking
point.
in.
Take away the De Bruyne point.
De Bruyne came on when we had attackers.
Take it
on
away
the
then.
pitch.
I'm just talking about Foden's performance then. Let's not even
Foden
talk
had
about
no
that.
attackers on the
He
pitch.
didn't
Every
do
time
shit.
he
There's
received,
no
because every
accountability.
time he fucking received the ball, he had it as his chest, and he had to take some fucking ridiculous touch to bring it down. And there's 2 guys on him.
He's one of the best players in the world. He won the PFA
He
Player
took
of the
the
Year.
fucking touches. Yeah, when you get pressed after you take the perfect touch, you're gonna lose the ball. There's nothing you can do.
Find
When
a
you
different
dribble
space.
three
I
guys,
don't know.
when
Do
you dribble
something.
fucking three guys, and there's no one to pass to because no one's made the fucking run for you, you lose the ball. It happens.
Man, I didn't even notice him in the game, Mila. There needs to be accountability.
I can't agree with you on this. I'm sorry.
I think there needs
you're
to be
dumb for this one.
That's fair.
You're clearly on something, but
I'm not on anything, Mila.
I don't
I
agree.
said he's the PFA Player of the Year, rightfully so. We talked about him last year. I thought he was
Don't agree.
magnificent.
We
He
didn't
wasn't
do
good last year?
anything to I talked about it last fucking episode.
No, I know.
So
there just
you're either
needs-
not listening
it's because
or
he
you're just like,
posted
what?
on his story, his trophies and all that. Like, what are we doing? Take some accountability. Like, go do what you did last year. Just do it.
His social media got you upset?
I just don't know why you would post that. Like,
So his
just go
social
prove it.
media got you upset. You're not listening to what I'm saying about
No,
it
I
at
am,
all,
Mila.
clearly.
Cole
So what
Palmer
do you want
played
him
in
to
one of the
do?
worst teams I've ever watched last year, and look what he did. Not to say they're the same
Penalties.
player. Did you watch the game?
If we
Let's
put
not do
Foden on some
penalties.
penalties, he'd have some GNA. It's like the same. Like what do you want him to do? We're not scoring goals anywhere on the pitch right now.
Get a fucking penalty then. Shit.
We're not doing it. We don't have any attacking thing going. If you watch
We
the
had no
game, like why are
midfield.
you saying these things?
I did
We didn't
watch
even
the
have
game.
a fucking
You
right
watched the
side.
game. Right.
Yeah.
Go drift out there. Find space. I don't know. I'm not full Foden. He's very good.
He's
That's
not
what I'm
some.
saying.
He's not okay. All right, bro.
I'm holding him to the standard of a good
you
player.
fucking just blow shit into the wind under a Pep fucking system, you're gonna get fucking yanked. You can't just fucking say, "Oh, I'm not playing centrally. I'm gonna go to the right." So what do you want him to do, realistically? You want him to be messy. It's the
control of
same
the
thing that I
game.
just said last time.
Just take control
You
of the game.
can't
You're a
control the
good player.
game. You cannot. If you pass the ball to Gundogan and he loses the ball, then what do you want him to do?
I watched Palmer in one of the most horrifically set up teams ever put up numbers, do stuff. Just
Where he could do whatever the
get-
fuck he want, free roam.
Yeah, I guess that's
You
the
can't
difference
do that in a
player.
Pep system. He'll yank you. There's a fucking standard.
That's a good point.
So you were complaining about Poch this entire time as his donut. We don't have that donut. We have a guy that has fucking standards and some fucking prowess. So like, why you want him to go against that? Like, I don't
No, I just want
understand.
him
There's
to-
nothing for him to do right now.
All right, Phil Foden cannot change anything in this team, even though he won the PFA Player of the Year.
No,
it
he
doesn't make
can't.
sense to me. Like you're
Look
not
at the
wrong in
difference
terms of-
between our team last year and this year. He can't do anything. There's no attacking setup right now. We have nothing going forward.
Dylan, what do you
So
think?
you want him to pull something out of his ass. That's it.
I want him to do something.
I'm going to blend your guys' 2 points because I think that you're both right in a certain sense. All of City's players reek and fucking suck. That was the most pathetic City
Yeah,
performance I've
I'm not
seen in
having
a
that,
while.
though.
The
I'm
only
not
player
having all
that
of them.
the only players that performed well were Ortega and Ake. Everyone else was not great.
Diaz played well, other than the mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was.
But
he
that's a
wasn't-
And he
mistake
keeps our heads
that.
in it.
No. Look,
I see, yeah, it's a
him
mistake,
as an
but he also-
overarching thing.
match sharpness. I understand. I know. Yes, he fucked up, but like I understand why. It's
performance
okay.
was good.
I think his performance was fine. I'm not gonna. He wasn't a shambolic performance.
That
from fucking Diaz.
2-0 scoreline was flattering. That was a flattering 2-0. I thought
because
Liverpool
couldn't
controlled.
finish.
But even I'm looking back at this game and I compared it to the way that United played against them earlier. There's just no. I just don't see the spirit and fight. I only saw it when Doku came on. When Doku came on, he changed the game.
Those
He
guys
might
can
be
run.
the.
That's
he
the
might be
thing
the
also,
spark.
though. There's no fight in the first half because we had no attacking players
Yeah, the
whatsoever. We had a
setup was-
Foden and Holland, and that was it. And when you have the best defense, supposedly, the best fucking defense in the league, on their fucking asses, there's nothing you can do. When you
Best
play
player
it
in
back
the
to
league.
your old... Yeah, sure. But, like, it doesn't... Like, I don't understand what they're supposed to do when it's just them two. Holland's being fucking breathed on by both center backs. Like, there's nothing he could possibly do. If he checks in, he gets the ball. He was dribbling into the center of the midfield, and he couldn't play it to anyone because no one was making a run.
I guess I'm just expecting more. 1 from Pep and 2 from the players, just because I consider some of these guys the best players in the world.
I don't.
And
think
this
he could've
Liverpool
done-
game
like,
is
if
tough,
we-
but there's a larger sample size here now where I've seen enough games against inferior opponents, even on paper with the injuries, where I just feel like they can be getting more out of each other. And they just look, this could be a thing where they get over it by midweek here and then they kick on. I just think that there needs to be a spark from somebody, and maybe it's a couple players. Maybe Diaz is in the right path and Doku is another player that can get that spark out of him. And it could happen midweek, right? Like those two jump right back in midweek, and City, I don't know who you guys play midweek, but you guys could just pepper them, and then we're right back to, City can compete again. But
I'm not getting fooled by anything, bro. If Doku has a hat trick, that's basically his output for the season. Like you guys are expecting
right?
the rest of the team that can't do these things. We haven't built properly. Like we're clearly fucked.
So I mean,
and then all the pressure's going on Foden and Haaland to pull these other 15, 14 goals from other players that weren't doing it last year.
Because they're two of the best players in the world.
Do you want them to add fucking 25 more goals to their tally? Like, I don't understand.
I'm not even asking for numbers. I'm just asking for on the field.
It's a team. When one player isn't playing well, you need the other ones to pick him up. And if no one's going to pick him up, it goes back onto the shoulders of the best players. And if he's still not playing well, he's still getting up to speed, he cannot fucking do anything.
He's had 10 appearances in the league. He started 6. I think he should be up to speed.
Playing with what? We've been playing shit football.
He's playing. Like, what do you mean? Like, he's on the field.
We don't have sharpness as a team, so how can a player gain the sharpness?
It's just too many excuses for a player of his quality. Like, that's what it is for me.
Okay.
I guess let's move off the Foden point, because I don't think we're ever gonna.
Sure.
I do want to, because I'm just concerned here that, like, it doesn't matter about the guys in the squad anymore, because I think that there needs to be a change in January, and if it doesn't come, then this is how City are going to look for the rest of the year.
Been saying this.
Yeah, ride it out till January.
But is that too much time though?
No, we fucked up in the fucking team building. We were supposed to rebuild earlier. We thought we had an extra year. We did not do that. So now we're stuck with the players that we have who have no legs. They cannot do anything. Grant, you're going to complain about your shitty ass squad, but you guys actually had some young guys in the squad. Some guys that could run. We don't even have that. Our guys are overrun. They've been fighting for titles for 6-7 years. They cannot do it anymore. They've played more games than your guys' teams in ridiculous all those seasons.
Yeah.
So they're run through.
I understand.
So if you guys want to call it excuses, you can call it excuses. We just won 6 out of the last 7.
Oh, for sure. I understand that if you were here, it's starting to slowly dip, right? Like, it's a matter of time. The amount of tread on the tires of the whole squad, to your point, like, they've played a lot, so I understand a dip from all of them. To me, it's been more than a dip in terms of what I'm just seeing on the pitch. Like, yes, that's he doesn't have any support behind him. I'm fully aware that everything going on around him is not helping him and setting him up to succeed. It's setting him up to fail, if anything. It's not helping him whatsoever. But again, it's just, all it comes down to for me is, like, man, I saw you play last year. Obviously, different setup. He had all that support. He had the structure. Man, I saw you do some magical things. Like, I just don't know where it went. Like, the drop-off in the performances, I have no doubt it's going to come
I don't
back.
think you're watching then.
Listen.
These guys, we have 2 outlets.
He is absolutely still a top player. This rut is going to go away. I'm not the one to say when it's going to happen, but, like, it's not like he's gone forever. Like, that player's going to come back, but, like, there needs to be accountability for me. It's like, you are that good. Like, take some accountability and step up. But
bro, I watched him dribble multiple fucking defenders. You beat 3 guys. You can square it to someone. It's a fucking sweaty goal. It'd be 1-1, whatever. There was no one there, so he has to take an extra touch. And then Van Dijk comes.
Right, and
it's the same thing every game. If he's taking on 2 to 3 guys, and he looks up, and there's no one there, he's going to have to try to do something magical.
0 for 3 successful dribbles. That's stats are stats.
Don't look at the stats. I watched the fucking
bikinis.
Game.
Yeah, 100%. I just had to check see what the stats were saying.
Okay, then let's I want to redirect the conversation to what is success for City moving forward.
We have a whole season going forward. The Premier League may be done. We can win a Champions League and we can win an FA Cup, and we can have a.
That was my question, because I was going to say 6 games is between now and January 1st, right? And that's not even the window. So, are we considering City out of contention for the Premier League at this? Like, okay, so
I don't
rule them out.
After
you should,
I don't trust Liverpool to stay consistent. I don't trust an Arsenal to go fucking fight for that win. Like, I think we're totally in it until we're not.
Okay, so it's not over, it's more unlikely. The
of
Prem.
course.
Okay, so then
The more we drop points and the more they go ahead, the less likely it is. Until we can no longer get it, I'm not counting us out.
okay,
I
and
think
so
it's fair
then
for other people to just say like
Of
to have them
course.
out of the race. I just can't rule them out. I can't, but I do think it's highly unlikely. But you literally
We've
never
seen
know,
it before.
especially
They
with
can go win out the rest of the thing. I don't think that's going to
yeah,
happen.
Rodri
There's
being out.
clearly a lot more
Yeah,
problems within the
yeah.
squad. But we've been asking for this as fans for a while. We've been asking them to fucking fill up the patches, and they just don't want to do it. Rodri's been asking them to fucking get a backup for him for about a year now, and they didn't do it, and he tore his fucking ACL.
Yeah, they loaned him to Ipswich.
So that was not a backup.
He was supposed to be.
Yeah, but that Rodri's quotes came out after we got that guy.
No, yeah, I know.
So
just-
realistically, City should be looking to fully focus on the Champions League. That's a bit. I mean, if the Premier
I
League
don't
is
think they don't. They're not the type of team to roll over in the Premier
no,
League.
I'm not
Like
saying give
that.
up, but like if they were to give a 60-40 split, you'd like. Sorry,
we're
you'd like
gonna
him.
put out a good team. We're gonna put out a good team regardless in the Champions League. We either win the Prem or not, so I don't think it matters honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how this new system works, so I don't know like when the next games are when it comes to the Champions League. I know there's one more left in this.
No,
Like,
there's 3 more. They
It'd
do
be like
8.
January, I think.
There's
late
8.
Oh, there's
January.
still 3 more in this
There's
like
8
group
games.
stage
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, after the 8 games, it resumes in like January time.
That's so confusing. There's too much
Mhm.
going on for my brain to
Utter
comprehend with that.
nonsense.
Okay, so yeah. I don't know if I was a fan and the tides don't turn within the next 6 games. Like if you guys lose a bunch more points and Liverpool really is taken off, that's where my head would be going. It's like we got to win a Champions League.
I think that's already where the head is subconsciously, but yeah,
I don't think we have to win anything. To be honest, we've done enough winning.
Well, of course you don't have to.
Do
But
a year off, if anything. We don't have to win anything. It would be very nice to win a Champions League, but if we're playing the worst we have in years, where's the expectation that we're going to go get a Champions League also?
I think it's just the pedigree of the squad, right? Like that you guys can compete because you guys have some of the best players in the world, and Pep Guardiola is probably the best manager in the world.
Without
The
our best player,
expectations
though, without
going
the
into the
Ballon d'Or
season
winner,
were
it's very tough. Yes,
no,
of course,
but
we
like
had
that's
Rodri going in this season though. And then
yeah, but like
we had
he's
Bob,
one
we had
guy.
a promising Bob coming in that looked like one of those guys that could actually bring us some output going into the season.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be back soon, though.
Yeah, he might be this
coming
part.
back from a broken leg. So
no,
it's
for
like,
sure. I want to see him play because I
yeah, no, I know. I miss seeing him play and like watching his game. So it'll be cool. But those things are tough. So it's like I do think we could go and win a Champions League. It's not like we need to be the best of the best to win that tournament, but if we play the way we've been playing, I don't know how much some signings will do. I think we might look better and we might find a little bit of rhythm to go into next season. And that's my expectations for the rest of the season. Anything else, a FA Cup, a Champions League, even fighting for the title would be the cherry on top. Because I just think we fucked up, and they know we fucked up, and it's time to rebuild now. They were gonna wait one more year, and now we're here. They've pushed up the date.
My biggest concern, if I was a City fan, is the Rodri size hole is. Look, he tore his ACL. That's not an easy injury for anyone to come back from.
If we're smart, we get.
And he's not this. But is he like? That's the thing. Is like, is any like, what can you do if he's not? He's clearly nobody is Rodri. So like, obviously everyone's going to be a step down. So obviously, like you were talking about, I think the reason Pep took this extension is because this is round 3 for him. This is a third rebuild, and I wouldn't be surprised, like you're saying, if City don't win anything, there's a complete overhaul. There's a ridiculous amount of money spent.
We're gonna have an overhaul regardless.
They got it.
We could win a Champions League and we'll still have an overhaul. John Stones is probably gone. The guy can't stay fit. Walker's probably gone. And if you think about this too, like we're probably gonna have to pick up an English guy.
Yeah.
So
Homer.
That would definitely
Harry
play
Kane.
into some of it. Oh God.
Eric Dyer is a free agent.
He is a free agent. That's a good smart pickup.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've been seeing reports like looking at a young center back. Obviously,
Eric
looking
Dyer.
at right backs, Frimpong. Apparently, they're ready to go now.
Does he
Well-
count as homegrown because he came through the academy?
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Who?
I think he left.
Oh,
Frimpong came from City's academy.
yeah, I
He
see what you're saying.
might
Like
be
on the
homegrown.
books type.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that counts because he left.
He left pretty early. Yeah,
Hmm.
that'd be
Like,
that'd be for
he'd be a good pickup, I think. I think one of our major gaps is Walker. If you look at every game, there's one
He's
consistent.
fucking terrible.
It's
Yeah,
not
he's
like
horrible.
he might not have the worst game, but he gives up 1 goal a game. That's
Yeah. Like
majority his fault. So it's like
right because like Diaz had
Need
the
to do
one
something
goal
there.
given up and a good performance, but that's not he doesn't do that often.
Mhm.
I was very surprised when that happened, but yeah, Walker, it's almost like a
And I do
daily thing.
think
Ake
we're
looked
gonna
really
go
good.
back.
That's a
We're
positive.
gonna go back to the 4 center backs at some point this season, and I think
Yeah.
it might stay that way. It's gonna be
Yeah, Ake's gotta
Ake
stay,
left
that's
back,
Yeah.
Guvardiol center back. This is if everyone could stay fit. This is best case scenario.
Guardiola, you would put him back in center back
Guvardiol,
with all
Diaz,
that
yes.
attacking output. I think Ake against like a Saka, Salah, those type of guys.
Because then, if
100%.
we have a solid defense like that, we can let our fucking midfielder and forwards
Do
be
whatever they want.
attacking. Yeah, and we can play a more attacking lineup. The way we are playing right now, the whole team's supposed to be attacking. So I think we're kind of set up to have Guvardiol outside. So he's trying to bomb up a little more. We looked at look at that Ake's performance against Salah though.
I thought he
good.
was really good.
He
Yeah,
fucking locked him
Salah
up.
ends up with a goal and an assist.
If
but
Salah
that
didn't
doesn't
get
tell the
switched
story.
on to
It doesn't tell the
Akanji,
story.
then that's a whole different story. Like if Ake stayed on him the whole game, I don't
Mhm.
think Salah would have gotten that assist.
Yeah,
That was,
And-
fucking proper assist.
Great
He's
ball,
fucking
great ball.
on.
Well, Salah
We-
does,
we
Salah
haven't-
does.
The whole
Salah
play
We
was
haven't
fantastic.
touched on Liverpool at all, which I love.
I
Love
just
that.
think they played fantastic. We knew they
They're
were going to
really
play
fucking-
fantastic.
The midfield overran.
They're really
City.
fucking good.
Yeah.
They're really fucking good.
Everything we talked about was going to happen, but again, it's like convenient timing for me.
Mhm. They were and Salah. That's again.
They
that's-
played the
It's
two
class.
He
best
didn't- he
teams
needs
in the
a
world
sniff. He
lately,
needs a sniff.
and they both happen to be rather shite right now. So
Yeah,
it's
but
just
they
it's
look
Liverpool
really-
for me.
You gotta
Yeah.
beat who you beat.
They're good.
You gotta
No,
beat
I'm
who's
not-
in front of you.
Of course,
They're
I'm not,
probably at
they've
this.
earning it. If they win it, they earn it. But
they
in
have
my
been in bad
opinion,
form,
it's
yes, they have.
it's quite convenient timing.
Is that something you've noticed?
Yeah,
It is, sir.
No, yeah, they've been.
But okay,
class.
it's not Arsenal, so it's fine.
Yeah, come on.
No, dude, fuck. It's not. None of this is good. This is why City. This is why I'm most disappointed in City because there's just fuck them. It's just whatever.
Dude.
But they were able to stop the two just fucking awful clubs from winning anything, which made me happy.
Yeah, no. Phase 6 Arteta tied up with Maresca's Blues. You hate to see it.
It's literally the Hitler versus Stalin meme, but like just add in like it literally and I'll get really historical here. City is Japan. City is Japan because now we love them, right? Because they're currently getting nuked. So I don't know.
Currently trying
Okay.
Anyways.
On that note, let's talk about.
Speaking of a squad that's going to get nuked this summer, Manchester United.
I might get nuked this summer.
Oh, it's but great win.
Yeah, no, United 4, Everton 0. Best performance of the year by some margin. Amarin's got them boys cooking, certain players at least. Ahmed is the best player on the team. He's not
That's
a
not how
wingback,
you
playing
pronounce-
wingback. Goat? Sorry. He's incredible. 2 assists. Really could have had a penalty too in there. I don't want to take too much from this game because Everton are proper shite. They're fucking awful.
That's what I was gonna say.
They're
I wanted to
proper
let you
shite.
have your time, but I was gonna say, do we need to talk about
They
this game?
usually have a good defense.
Yeah, usually they
bro,
don't.
but
They
this-
usually don't concede that many
Yeah.
goals.
Braithwaite has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
From
not.
what all the
You're not
hype
getting
that was
70.
around him
70
You're not-
million?
gone.
Yeah, nice one.
Tarkovsky was a solid center back. Might be time. Young is about to play his son.
Yeah, that's crazy. He was
And
brought in
Mykolenko
to replace a
is
35-year-old, by the way.
Mykolenko.
The 39. No, Shane. No. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, he's older than Coleman.
Yeah, he's older than Seamus
I
Coleman.
think the big thing we need to take from this is that Almirón has C.O.C scoring a brace.
In my fantasy team.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. You had 2 subs come in. How did that happen? Look,
Like
you would have
that.
beaten me regardless, but you had 2 subs come in.
I may or may not have had Reece James and John Stones in my
No. But I've played lineups where 2 people have not played, and I didn't get 2 subs.
Well,
I'm just confused.
That's Aura, unfortunately.
I don't like FPL's stupid. Whatever. Anyways, C.O.C scored 2. They were both tap-ins created by players.
What he needs to do. He's a 9.
Hey, but left foot, right foot.
I actually think that C.O.C played more as a you guys didn't.
He played through?
To Ahmed,
there was one where he had like 0 space and just quick. That's his game. When he's around other good quality players who understand when to go, like Ahmad would. Oh, he's gonna make this run. Ahmad, as soon as he sees C.O.C receiving the ball, he knows if I make this run, he's gonna try and find me. Like that's what it is for C.O.C. But I like him. Not just because he's in my fantasy team, but I do think he's a quality player. And were you trying to say that he was more in that 10 space?
He was more of a 10. I know on paper it was that front 3 was as fluid as I've seen a front 3 out of United in a really long time.
Nice.
He was either up top, but the only thing that he doesn't have, which is crazy because he's like 6'3" and like he looks like he weighs 200 pounds. No, he just can't hold up.
Strength.
He can't hold up the ball. He doesn't win battles. And that's why it was really, but that's the reason he played.
That could be something that takes time because he's coming from Italy. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know.
So like maybe he's not used to just having. He had more time there to receive the ball. He's a big dude, but surely like he can hold a man off.
The reason he played, and Almirón said this, is because he was coming off of the center backs, not playing with this on the center backs. He thought that was a better fit for the game because he was playing deeper, collecting the ball, and then Rashford was beating them for pace, which he was really good this game as well. Didn't really touch on him. This is the most clinical stretch he's had in a really long time of just putting away chances. Really happy for him, really excited for him. I think that I'm interested to see what happens midweek here because he's got 3 guys that are now coming off braces. They can't all start because you're not benching Bruno. So the question becomes like, what are you going to do? We'll touch on that in the preview portion, which, no. Look, they've built some performances here. I think they're 7 unbeaten. They finally got into the top half. They have a positive goal differential. The signs are there and the structure is there where you can see it working. The massive negatives that came out of this game is Martinez got a yellow card for no reason, and Manu got a yellow card. And both of them will miss Wednesday, which, to be honest with you, I don't know if Manu would have started anyways, just because this was the first game back. Could have used him as a sub though. I think he could, make an impact there. Martinez getting injured or being suspended, and now Luke Shaw getting injured makes it a much bigger hole, which I feel awful for Shaw, but also like it's time for United to move on. It's time for United to move on. It's a much further along process than Reece James for United, and you can't just bank on the idea that eventually he'll be fit, because at this point he's not. And if he has to rot in the squad until his contract's gone, that's okay. You can use him in the games that he can play, but they got to move on from him at this point.
In terms of relying on him to be there.
Yeah, and it sucks because he's got the quality. But when he played, he was great.
A team like United aspiring to do where they're trying to get back to, you have to be able to rely on someone to be there week in.
You need week in, week out guys. Yeah, he's not that.
Yeah, we got a few more years in the process. Yeah, feel him out.
Yeah, so United, Arsenal have been flying ever since getting Odegaard back. They look like one of the best teams in the world, which who would have guessed? I think this is a really interesting matchup for both teams because I think they both work each other's strengths and weaknesses very well. Obviously, this is a only can win situation, I think, for United, because if they lose this match, it's so early in the process of Almirón. I don't think anyone's expecting them to go in and pick up all 3 points. Getting a result,
don't get rolled out. Like if you don't get absolutely smacked up, I think you're fine.
But even if they do get smacked
it's more
up,
so
like,
about the performance. I think
yeah,
it'll be most people will be watching United's performance rather than the result of this game. If you guys do come out with a good result and the performance is good, then that's a bright spot. If you just kind of bullshit a result, performance isn't good, but you still get some points out of it, still a plus. It's Arsenal. So
yeah,
I
don't know.
get what you're saying, but I do
This
think
manager
the only
doesn't
way
feel
it
like
could be
he's
bad.
gonna
Yeah.
just switch up tactically to make it different. Like
No.
he's gonna stay true to this tactic. So whether or not they play well or they don't, like, it's gonna be a learning process, right? And they're like, look, Everton had chances in this game. They were poor and they weren't really dangerous chances. I know they had a bunch of shots, but nothing was like really worrying.
That's why I hate XG, because I saw they were like pretty much the same, and then I looked at the highlights and I looked into the game a little more. I was like, "There's no like it's."
They weren't. So the thing is there's, because of the current players in the squad, there's a reliance on or they have weakness in covering players that are athletic and can kind of create on their own. So Saka in this game could be really challenging.
I'm terrified for whoever's playing. I don't know who's playing left center back. Is that
I-
Maguire? Is that Maguire?
It's probably gonna have to be.
I don't think
Johnny
so.
Evans?
You think he
Johnny
can
Evans?
throw a DM in there?
Who's going?
Or is
I
Ugarte gonna have
think-
to go in there
Because that guy has
could
been
be.
pressing up really high, and with Odegaard and Saka on that side of the pitch, like that I would be nervous about that in terms of who's playing there, and how are they going to try and exploit that? Because it's not your first
Ugarte.
short player there.
No,
That was-
I think what he does, and I think that this is because part of the tactical flexibility is they can go from a 3-back to a 5-back, right? That's like part of it. I think he goes more 5-back style,
Mhm.
but I think
two actual fullbacks.
no, because I think Ahmad's still going to play fullback. But
Okay.
he's been so good. He's been so good defensively that doesn't change anything
Right.
for me. I still think Dalot starts on the left side, but I think
Mhm.
that he goes Mazraoui on the left.
Mhm.
Oh, just double.
He
up.
goes Maguire in the middle, and he plays Delict out on the right. I
Martinelli.
That's pretty
probably.
crazy, but I see the vision.
I think
Martinelli
I
starting?
think it's the idea of who he's going to play in those two spots. I think that he moves Mazraoui to the left though.
Yeah, no,
I'm-
it does make sense. It's
Or
the
he puts
speed
Dalot
mainly.
right wing back, Garnacho left wing back, and then Ahmad as one of the 10s. But I
No,
think that's asking way too
yeah.
much for a player
think
who's never
Dylan-
played as a defender. Maybe
yeah,
they put Ahmad at
Dylan's-
left wing back.
If they're
I
gonna
think-
move someone out of wingback for Ahmad, if they're gonna move Mazraoui further forward, that's where I think the 5-back can come into play. And I think they'll play
Mazraoui,
Mazraoui, Dalot, Maguire, and Evans will probably be the two that go in there. I don't like it.
I hate that at left center.
No, I know.
I'd rather
I
do
know.
Mazraoui.
Do you think Evans plays
He can't.
He
If they're gonna
shouldn't.
play,
He
if they're gonna
shouldn't.
press as high as they
unless
want to
he
press,
absolutely needs to play? I don't think he's gonna.
No, I think he's out actually. Sorry, he's not gonna play.
What the hell?
oh, Harry.
I froze too. Yeah,
Oh, he is.
he's out.
Oh, he's got a
He's
knock. He's probably.
I'm pretty sure I saw
Arsenal.
something. He's out.
Oh, still out. Okay. Well, damn, he might be a young guy then. You
I
never know.
yeah, I
hope
did
you
bring up
guys,
that.
Dylan, I
Who was
I
that,
really
who
hope
was
you
that
guy
guy?
don't get popped.
That played.
I don't know, but Euro's in the squad, so I think that
You had a
16-year-old's
pretty
coming back
big guy
down.
that played.
Euro starting would be crazy.
No, he's not starting. No shot.
Who was the big?
He's
white
already
guy
said that he
played
won't
for you
start.
guys. He played like
Maguire.
one match, maybe.
Collier?
Yeah.
I don't think he hasn't
a
even
DM?
been. Yeah, something of the sort, like a 6'8" hybrid. He hasn't even been in the squads, so I don't think he plays.
Hmm.
I genuinely believe he goes Mazraoui, Delict, and Maguire. I think that's the only thing he can do. The question is, where does he play those guys? And I'd rather see Mazraoui deployed on Saka than Maguire or
Yeah,
Delict
for sure.
deployed out there.
Like if
No.
Martinelli beats him, Martinelli beats him. You let that happen. You can't let Saka run at him.
He could theoretically just go, I'm going to play what's been working and put Maguire out on the left and just say, look, like if they beat us, they beat us. But I need to see if the system works and I need to get the data points on the guys.
I think
Personally, I think if
yeah.
you're going to win this game, if you want to get 3 points, you want to get a result, you got to put Mazraoui out there.
Yeah, I like Amarim's character a lot in terms of what he's kind of coming in and what he's setting up to do. So I think that's been a positive for you guys, and that's something to build on, regardless of the result tomorrow. I'm just really scared that you get popped if it gets too open, or if that left center back is not who. Let's say it is Maguire. He's pressing up high, and Saka Odegaard just on that side, like you really need to be on that, right? I just so hope, but that genuinely is my gut feeling, is that they get popped, and I really hope that doesn't happen.
The only thing that's making me like, I almost want to just start Maguire regardless of whether he's in the positions or not, is just for set pieces. I think having him and De Ligt is a good counter to Gabriel and Saliba and their mess that they always make in there.
Not bad.
That's the only reason. But the midfield two for me has to be Casemiro and Ugarte. I think that's a combo that can wreck that midfield. I think that they're stronger, more physical than Rice and Jorginho. They'll win duels. So that's that 2 layers there. And then the forward 3 is where I don't know where he goes. No. He's got 3 guys that have braces. I think he rested Højlund because he wants him in this game. So I think it's Bruno and Højlund. It's the question of who's the third.
Can't drop Rashford, but
has he played
as one of the 10s yet?
Technically, this was a performance. I think if they want to go long and they want to try to beat them over the top, he goes Rashford.
Right. I think
he wants to press, I don't think it's Xerxes either. I think he goes Mount.
Oh, I forgot about
Mason. That would be a crazy call in this game. I think.
I don't think he starts.
Dude, he's talked so highly of Mount. And Mount has been he's been good so far, and he was also rested for this last game.
That would be pretty cool.
I think there's a chance.
Mount Hive might have me back if he scores a winner against Arsenal. It has to be a winner though. It has to be a significant goal.
I think it's possible.
It can't be bullshit, bro. If he gets that, my guy. We're back.
I think that Højlund has a chance to disrupt this game. And I think that he's one of the only strikers in the league that can do that to those 2 center backs. And I think he's proven it before. And I think he looked really good in the game preseason against Gabriel. I think it's just possible. I think it's possible. Sure. I think anything that he can be.
100%. On any given day, he can give him problems. But most days he probably doesn't, because that's how good those other guys are. But
no, look, their defense is really good. I just don't.
He can cause problems, 100%.
Look, West Ham scored 2 goals against them.
West Ham are so bad,
and they're awful. So I think that
Germany.
Oh God.
94th, they were down 3-0.
They're a mess. I think United and I think this game's going to be close. I think this game's going to be really close.
I hope so. Is it home or away?
It's away. So United should be looking to get a point if possible. I think if they do get a point, then there's really good signs for United here, and I think that's huge building blocks.
Here's the thing, and even you guys lose 3-0, no one's going to be like, "Oh my God, really?" So realistically, there's
nothing to lose.
Reality where they go in there. Yeah, exactly. They have nothing to lose in this game. Go out there, see what you can do. So I think this is a prove it point for Almirón, just more in terms of kind of what Mila was getting at. A lot more, not the result, but the performance. Like, what type of character are they going to show out there? You know what I mean? They could lose 3-4-0, but if they're working hard till the 90th minute, that is something you can take away, because, again, the guy just got here. The team's been a mess. He's got players out. I do not expect them to get anything from this game. So, just go out there and, like you said, nothing to lose.
All right, well, let's do a little prediction here, and then we can call it wraps. I'll go last because it's my team.
I mean, I said it was my gut feeling, so I'll go with it. 3-0 Arsenal.
What do you think, Mila?
Who nil Arsenal in the first half. United get 1 in the second, and it ends 2-1.
I like how specific that is too.
Thank you. I have a feeling. That
I'll
be really wrong.
In the first half, 1 in the second half for me.
Just kidding. United 5 goals first half.
All of them.
I'm never predicting my team to lose. It'll never happen.
Respect.
I think United can scrape a result here, and if it's going to happen, it's going to be a 2-1. I think if you can, if they can lock up Saka, I don't like anybody else on their team going forward. I think that De Ligt and Mazraoui and Maguire are enough to deal with those whatever you want to call them.
You just gotta shut down Odegaard. That's really it.
I think that
as long as he doesn't play some stupid dummy ball over the top,
that's just have Ugarte
right to someone's foot,
dude.
Then
that's what I'm saying.
That's it. That's
I think you could even have Casemiro do it.
Saka. A lot of the time he's playing that ball to Saka. So if you shut off Saka, you might be able to shut down the whole thing.
I've seen Casemiro get pantsed a few too. Mind you, it was a lot more last year than this year, but I've just seen him just get like come.
No, he gets
just
pantsed.
Bite
Yeah.
too much, and then he gets pantsed. So,
But
I'd rather have Ugarte follow him, especially because that's a guaranteed yellow. Like, I'm not saying like you want to injure players.
One
but
of them, if
he'll
not
let
both
him
of them,
know
are
he's
getting
there.
yellows.
You know
oh,
what I mean?
yeah, 100%.
Ugarte is gonna let him know early he's there in that midfield. So like, yeah, you
I
want
agree, though.
someone physical all over Odegaard Paul's.
I think that the only reason you would deploy Casemiro first is because if he does get pantsed, Ugarte has been there. And when they've played together, that's kind of been the dynamic. Casemiro is also the better ball player, so he becomes the 8 in that role.
Gotcha.
I'd like to see him just mess him up. I personally, I want to see Rashford keep playing because I love watching him score goals. And he loves a game against Arsenal. He just loves a game against Arsenal. He scored 6 against them. So, yeah, fuck it. I don't know. 2-1's good. I'll be really happy with the 2-1. But like Mila said, I'll be happy with a good performance. If they show fight, they show spirit. This team is not in a chance to compete
Don't take
for
it
anything.
from me though. That's all I'm
No,
hoping for.
that's
when I'm
just
watching
where
at
they
the
are right
moment.
now. It's just where they are.
No, but to be fair, if we're
just where they
looking,
are.
if we're looking on form, like United should feel decent going into this game. I know they've played inferior opponents, but they've won 4 out of the last 5. Right,
Going
like, they
in
should
with
feel
the
decent.
game plan, I feel like it's not hard to build up the game plan against Arsenal. The hard part is executing it.
Yeah,
but you
they're
have the
fucking
game
good.
plan, so you should always feel comfortable going into that game. Usually, you find out really quickly if the game plan works or not.
Well,
So,
hey, if Onana plays
first
as good
10
as he's
minutes-
played too,
First 10 minutes are
that
going to
can
be
change
huge,
the
I
game.
think.
My
first
goal
10
is-
minutes is
so
a really good shout.
My
First
goal
10
is
minutes
so
are going to be
far.
a very big, like, if I could see Arsenal just like knocking on the door heavily, but if you guys can keep them out in that first 10, I think we have a good game on our hands. And
Especially
if you
with a
don't,
guy
then I
like
think it
Rashford.
goes south.
They just break off real quick if you just stay resolute defensively.
Yep. Also, United randomly now with the new structure have some depth going forward. So if he doesn't play a Rashford, he can bring him on. If he doesn't, if he wants to change the pace and wants to bring on a Garnacho, he can do that. Interesting. He seems to be getting the best out of the squad currently with what it is, and I think
ask for.
that's all you can ask for. That's one of the main things they asked him to do because he's not going to have a big budget. So, time to figure out who can sink and who can swim.
Yeah,
but yeah, alrighty. Keep this one a little shorter. It's still an hour, but shorter than an hour 30, because we will be back on Thursday to record after the midweek games. But we good to wrap this up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do it. Alrighty. From myself, Grant, and Mila, this has been Clash of Clubs. This has been episode 16, and we will see you guys
Ricky
on
Pooge.
Thursday. Oh yeah, Ricky Pooge. Ricky Pooge. I totally forgot.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Thanks. Shout out to Ricky Pooge for bringing our Galaxy to an MLS Cup Finals. Wasn't talked about enough this year. He played 30 fucking minutes on a torn ACL and had an assist.
Game-winning assist.
Game-winning assist, 86 minutes.
That is a true footballer. I'm very, very sorry for your injury. You are a Galaxy legend from here on out. We love you. And vamos Galaxy on Saturday because we're winning a cup.
Thank you, Barcelona.
Yeah. If I didn't have horrible knees, he could have mine. You know what I mean? Like, that's what a performance.
Proper. Alrighty, Now we'll get out of here. Thanks for listening, guys.
2 words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.